Coach, always good to see you. Just want to ask you, as you're in the final week of this season, with how your young team has really been competitive all season and shown principles that you would want, how have you viewed your whole team as a foundational block for what you want to build, not only to close the season, but to go forward into next year?
Yeah. I feel like you could be coaching the team and I could be sitting over there in terms of that answer, because that is what it is. Like, we about a week or 10 days ago, we were officially eliminated out of the playoff hunt. And for us, it was about doubling down on our culture that we've redefined, continuing to lean into our development, and in the face of not making the playoffs, cementing our pro habits, and like if we want to get to the level of a New York or a Minnesota, it doesn't just start. It doesn't start overnight. Like, you got to build towards it. And so for us, it's like we really have to take seriously like these moments where we can get better against the zone, against switching defenses, against teams are doubling Sonia or playing our physical. All these things are things that we can take and learn from now, but also carry into the season as next year as we look to build. And that's where we are in terms of a build.
And an opportunity tonight against a Liberty team that is full strength health-wise,
Yeah.
and an opportunity to really give them a real test and try to have that victory against them. You talk about how your team will be looking forward against a real title contender that's fully healthy and motivated themselves to play well.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking about the defending champs, right? And then the addition of Cloud and Emma in particular. It's a wonderful team, very well coached. And we got smacked in the face here a couple weeks ago without great players in terms of Sab and JJ being ready. So I've said it all year long, we're not in a position where we can kind of look at other people's roster and say, oh, okay, we've got an easy night, or that, necessarily, hey, we can out-talent them here, and here. We're always in a spot where we've got to prove ourselves, and tonight will be no different against a team that's trying to get ready for the playoffs.
So what was it like, this morning's shoot-around seemed pretty loose, your final shoot-around of the year with this group, for you personally, just knowing that, this is your last game of the season, today was the last pregame morning, like, have you started to reflect on any of that?
Yeah, no, I definitely. I made a promise to this team, and I feel good about having kept it. Like 44 games, I want to be, joyfully looking into their eyes and appreciating, what they've given, wanting to, feel like the work that we've put in has moved the needle, has moved us forward. I feel all of that. Honestly, just respecting how they've gone about their business, and they've been great in terms of the locker room. It's absolutely critical as you're trying to build, and I feel like individual players in our team has gotten better. So that's top of mind. At the same time, New York's really, really good. We just ran into an Indiana team that needed to win in order to make the playoffs. There's a seriousness, a ruthlessness, to be honest, in terms of how teams play to get into the playoffs and get themselves going. And it's a good experience for us. It really is. It's a good experience for us in terms of where we want to go, that we have these good feelings, and we clearly see the momentum that we've built, but there's a couple more levels up, frankly. And we saw it a couple days ago, and I would expect that New York is going to play really hard, and that we're going to have a challenge tonight.
Hi, Sydney. You talked a lot about the culture that you want to build. I guess, how do you describe what that culture is?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we want to be serious about like playing hard and getting better. I mean, those are you can't do anything in this league without just going hard and trying to improve. I think we talk a lot about our joy and trying to enjoy these moments. And then I think there's a professionalism, like and what I mean by that is just like these habits of like those things that I just talked about, that they're like every day. They don't waver in terms of adversity, or different things that come down the pike. And we need time. Like, we need time to kind of learn those like lessons that are just kind of hard to know if you haven't gone through it. I think New York has had time to build that. Minnesota certainly. You can look at these quality teams. Phoenix, I think, is in the throes of that. Where we are right now is in the early stages of that, and we're mindful, but at the same time, we still want to put our best foot forward.
For sure. And I guess this is your first year WNBA head coach. I guess what has surprised you about taking on this role and reflecting on, what year one has been like?
Yeah, I've gotten that question a couple different ways, and you can ask I'm having the time of my life. I mean, we haven't. The last season or last few weeks have been tough, in terms of results, but they're just great players to work with. They're like really, really good people. They have embraced like our culture. They are our culture. All right, they're the living, breathing, kind of manifestation of what we're trying to do. They're joyful. They come in, they work, and yes, we have levels to go in terms of like results, but like just how they're going about their business, they have my ultimate respect, and I've really enjoyed it. And that extends to our staff, our medical, our performance, Jamila, our front office. So it's been quite rewarding, and I'm just looking for, more days that we can continue to build together.
Coach Howard Magdal, the 9 basketball. Good to chat with you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. The progress this team has made is measurable in a lot of different ways. And I'm wondering if you sort of had one specific measurable that you feel like is most indicative of where this team has gotten to.
I would say one of the things that I'm really proud of is our resiliency. Like, I think at last check, we were tied with Minnesota for like comeback wins, in our league. I think somehow they defined the comeback wins, and I think that says a lot. Minnesota's been through it. It could be on the cusp of winning a championship. Certainly think they'll be, right there. We're a different looking team, so to be able to have that, on our resume, I think it says a lot about our players and how much we do fight, that we don't throw in the towel, that we have played up at different times. That is one of, I think, several things that I've noted about our team, but I think that one speaks volumes just in terms of like the no quit in us.
And just specific to the final game, a couple years ago, Indiana just missed the playoffs, had a big win the end of the year against Minnesota, and they talked about it the next year, kind of help power them, fuel them. Do you think there are things you guys can take out of tonight that you can carry over into 26, especially with a number of your key players like already under contract coming back?
I absolutely. And I asked Steph to address our team, at shoot-around today, and she spoke quite eloquently, as she normally does. She just kind of hits it home every time. And she talked about, just the fact that what we've talked about all year is having a 44-game commitment to our culture, not allowing that to waver. Yes, we've faced tests, but and appreciating the moment, but like we have a big test tonight. And however the result of the game comes out, and we want to win, but we want to, either way, we want to go out the way that we came into the season. And she spoke beautifully about it, and everybody got it because we've kind of lived that. We've talked to each other a lot about preserving our culture and preserving our identity. So we gotta stick together. We gotta have fun. We gotta communicate with each other. All those things. We've done a lot of that in many games this year, and we want to do that tonight.
To kind of build off of Howard's question, you had mentioned earlier teams that are in the playoff race that you've played have played ruthlessly.
Yeah.
How do you think your team has responded to those games and those opponents, and what do you think they've learned from those games and those opponents?
Yeah, there's a clear, in my humble opinion, there's a clear need for us to kind of level up there, and we'll get there. We'll get there. There's a physicality and a shot making and just a killer instinct, to be perfectly frank. And it's why it's the best league in the world. I mean, it's not It's not great to be on the other side of that, frankly, but it is what it is. And what I love is, as I alluded to earlier, like we've had that ourselves, like, but I can't say that that's our identity right now. Again, I think that comes from time. I think that comes from experience and confidence and a certain level of professionalism. Those three or four things mixed in together, and then that becomes the type of player you are every single night, and especially when there's a lot to play for. And I feel like we've seen that over these last 10 games or so as people are starting to ramp. Look at Las Vegas. I mean, that's a completely different team than, a month ago. There's a reason. All right, they're not playing around. So, but don't lose the fact that like they took some time to kind of get there, but then they could pull on that energy, and man, are they something to deal with. So I'm looking forward to the time and development that we're going to be able to have here in Washington to get us to that point.
Jen?
Hey, Sydney, just got a question for you on each of your point guards. Let me start with Shug. We've talked before about how she's improved throughout the season in various areas. And I'm curious, what do you think has made the biggest difference for her in terms of unlocking that, helping her take those steps forward?
I think we handed the keys to her and Jade. I'll get to Jade in a second, but I think we handed the keys to both of them as like our point guards. Like, we're following you. Like, and this is the biggest stage, I think arguably the most opportunity that they've gotten to be able to kind of run a team, and then they've made plays that have allowed, frankly, given them confidence, but also like had their teammates get confident in them. So you see Shug and Jade both with a little bit more shoulders back and pointing and directing. Leadership and confidence are things that I think they have taken major steps in.
And for Jade, 5 assists off the bench the other day. How have you seen her, still so young, right?
Yeah.
How have you seen her adjust between starting and coming off the bench, playing different spots, throughout the season, kind of back and forth a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I nickname her, Jay Joy Melbourne, because she's just a tough nut, and she loves the game. She always comes in with a smile on her face. There's nothing. She can take an elbow to the face and have a tooth popped out, and the next day she's in with a mouth guard and ready to hoop. I mean, that's what she is. So she's tough. She loves to compete. We've given her her most minutes in the W. I think we've doubled her minutes, and she's earned it because defensively she's always ready to compete. Her shot has wavered a little bit as of late, but when she's making threes, adding that to her downhill attack, and then she's gotten wiser in terms of her playmaking, not only in terms of directing, but when she gets in the lane, stopping with 2 feet and finding folks. So her growth has been awesome. Both of them just I don't know, they're so open to being coached, and grateful that they're both having, in many ways, like career years in different areas for both of them.